Howdy, folks, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. Boy, do we got a good show for you tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking more about Solomon's magic. As you can see by my background, we're going to be talking about that tree of life and a few other things, of course. You know, I seem to always keep finding good stuff in this book. We're going to go through it. Yesterday, the day before, whenever we did this, we were talking about the as so above, so, or remember, as above, so below. And how does that correspond with magic? So anyway, we're going to have some good stuff. I just want to thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you very much. It's been great. Love doing this magic stuff. It's kind of interesting and cool all at the same time. Thank you for spending your valuable time with me and doing all this stuff. Remember, we talked about, we were on As So Beloved, babbling. Remember, as above, so below, as within, so without. At this point, you may be wondering how we can be more mortals. Presume to invoke archangels, angels, and ancient gods, goddesses, and demons. Demon kings, even though we have essential operative secrets, hypnosis, and the mere reflection phenomena, So anyway, so that's kind of where we started covering. We talked about Kabbalah being a physiological, mathematical, geometric system that describes the creation and operation of the universe, though 4 dimensions, by employing a schematic design containing 10 spheres of descending emanation connecting by 22 paths attributed to letters of the alphabet and their numerical equivalations. And so I go to here, and as always, I like to present you with some stuff because, hey, that's what I like to do. And who doesn't like to see cool things? Because that's what we're talking about. And as we get into this, but anyhow, it's all neat. Neato bandito, right? This is a starting point. And here's what we're talking. Present. Share screen. And there we go. Let's see. So you can see the points, the geometric system that describes creation. This is a starting point, but not much better than giving weight and height and color as definition for an elephant. Essential to understanding Kabbalah is the concept of the limitless nothing. Limitless nothing that contacts into itself and produces anasufer, the limitless light, which then expands to produce the universe and continues to enliven and ensoul it. This conception predates modern physics, the Big Bang Theory, by 1,000 years. It also puts Kabbalistic philosophy in very controversial position in relation to the Orthodox Jews. Let's see here. And the Christian religion. At the highest level, Kabbalistic can conceive God is not judgmental in any way, dissatisfied with his creation. He simply is and continues to be. See, now that's my idea of some kind of a God. You don't care what you do. You just be. and he is. And you do whatever you want. You have free will. He's non-judgmental. The only judgmental person out there is you. He's not okay. Are popular, according to other things anyway. The universe is therefore operated by lesser, more differential personifications such as angels, gods, goddesses, and elemental spirits. This idea was originally neoplastic, philosophical high water, classical paganism, and can be explored further in the writings of the philosopher Poenius and his followers. We attribute all these lesser powers to the various spheres and paths of the tree of life. Constructor, described in our sentence definition. We can then access them for knowledge or for help. See, and that's the thing. So, where do we go? We're going to talk a little bit about the tree of life. Here you go. Here's another variation. There's many, many variations of the tree of life. So, you can look at that. The great mainframe. Okay. Isaac Luria in the 16th century allows you to go online with the great mainframe. In other words, microcosm and access to the macrocosm. Since its emergence in medieval southern France and Spain to the present era, Kabbalah, especially magical Kabbalah, has been studied and practiced by many Gentiles as Jews. In the 15th century Europe, a physiological marriage took place that established the lineage of the Western esoteric tradition. Hebrew Kabbalah was united with classical paganism. Hermetic philosophy has risen in the 2nd century of the Christian era as an attempt to preserve the ancient wisdom from the anti-intellectual onslaught of Christian zealots. Its combined elements of neoplastic, Gnostic, and Orphic teachings. When Hermetic writings were rediscovered by the Renaissance Europeans, Magick was literally reborn. Hebrew Kabbalah, which started many of the same original roots, was soon integrated into Hermetic scheme to give it a necessary structure. The humanistic Hermetic philosophers enriched their magical art by including the pagan Orphic hymns, or to the gods, and drawing on the esoteric Arabian Sabin planetary magic system, having its origins in ancient Canaan and Babylon. To create an elegant synthesis, the earth was declared a goddess, Anamundi, and defined sun and moon and planets were evoked both in the human body and in the heavens beyond. This obviously pagan, conspicuous and armonal pantheon was balanced and regulated by the angelic counterparts retained from the biblical system. However, in Hermetic Kabbalah, these angels were thought of as essential messengers or special power givers, not of the biblical Jehovah, but of the omnipresent, omnipotent, and non-judgmental force that flowed throughout the universe. The famous Resonance philosopher magician Giordano Bruno, who was supposedly burned at the stake for supporting Copernicus's heliocentric theory, was actually executed by the Inquisition, not because he publicly declared that, yes, Earth does revolve around the sun, but because he then insisted that the sun is a god. Oh boy, that'll get you in trouble. Okay. or Kabbalah is the earliest form and was developed from the Pythagorean mathematical geometric philosophy, the Samaritan Gnosticism in the 1st century. Yeah. Okay, we're going to move on here. Hermetics form, the practical magical Kabbalah is similar to the Tibetan Tartanic Buddhism and elaborates visualization of the frankly pagan god forms, angels, elements, spirits are encouraged. Judaic and Muslim religion traditions forbids this imaginary, thus severely handicapping their forms of Kabbalah. There is, however, one major difference between our Hermetic system and that of the Tartanics. They contend that everything is ultimately an illusion, whereas we say that everything is ultimately reality. For this reason, we place great emphasis on developing and balancing the 4 physiological elements: fire, air, water, and earth, animated by force, which we call spirit. So there you go. Here's more pictures of the Tree of Life. Now, Tree of Life has been around for a long time. And as you can see, there's lots of points on there. And I'm going to go on here about a few things. The importance of the 4 magical elements, the tarot suits, which can be overemphasized. Hermetic Kabbalah employs angelic balances and forces. Let's see here. By the 18th century, the Jewish intellectual established had generally abandoned Kabbalah as a baleful influence on their culture, although in recent years there has been a revival of interest in the subject of the Jewish community, especially in the 1960s and 70s when rabbis discovered that some of their brightest young people were attracted to esoteric Buddhism. Yeah, see? People were just getting tired with the same old thing. What is old is new again. There's nothing new on earth. Here, listen to this one. This is good. Where does Jesus fit in all of this? Was there ever such a thing as Christian Kabbalah? And it says, there were some attempts at this during the Renaissance, but Christianity doctrine of faith is fundamentally opposed to Kabbalah, doctrine of knowledge. Yeah, that figures. So if you're a Christian, they want to keep you dumb as a box of rocks. Okay, it says Christianity's tomb structure will not fit into the 10 spheres. Yeah, Tree of Life. If you are eccentric, you can place Jesus in some other, along with Baal and Osiris. But you should be aware that it is not elegant assignment, because there are no other deities in any Christian pantheon whom you can place in this sphere. The apostles won't fit, and the saints aren't appropriate. So Christianity has its own thing. Put it that way. And look at here. So we got the Assyrian sacred tree, and then the Tree of Life, the Assyrian Tree of Life. Kind of similar, but different, all at the same time. Here we can go back to the Anunnaki, or Nephilim, and they have their own Tree of Life. As you can see, it's kind of the same. Remember, these guys are wearing their little watches, carrying their little handbags. This guy, he looks like he's holding something more. What are they doing? That's a good question. Here's another one. More Tree of Life. This time we got the eagles with their feathers, winged serpents. And this one, we got some goat-looking things with the Tree of Life. Here's variations of the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life is a physiological schematic of the universe as it was created and as it continues to function. The tree has 10 spheres because we have 10 fingers on our mathematics is based on the number 10. We separate the tree into 4 descending ohms or dimensions. In an oversimplified way, these dimensions can be thought of as levels of vibration or frequency, like UHF or VHF. At the top, it could be AM or FM. At the top, we have the azimuth and the world of origins, in which creates the continents, the single Sefer or Kether. In all exalted level, God is neither male or female, and certainly not judgmental. This is the force which empowers the mighty two-stroke engine of the next dimension. The world of the archetypes and archangels, where the yin-yang, male positive and female negative, revolves with impersonal, clinical, or cyclical detachment, generating the myriad preforms of the Oman Zavtra. Let's see. So-called astral plane. This derives from Plato's, who originated the idea of the original idea. The concept there has to be the ideal archetype preceding every physical manifestation. Yeah, it just leads to being to more questions, you know. Even Hermes Trismegistus, to keep the teachings as a prize to be won by seekers after wisdom, not a gospel to be preached to multitudes. Yeah, because Hermes said all these things, but he encouraged everybody to do the work, because you're getting nowhere unless you do the work. So if you find this, let's see. In the brief theoretical explanation rises as many questions as it answers. Yes, it does. After, let's see, we're going to skip that. As you can see, let's see. I'm going to skip that. Okay, so anyway, what are we learning here? Let's move on to this. The number is 10 for fingers of Adam command. Only because the first man counted thus and made it so, it reduces to nothing and expands to infinity without thy calculations, from the book of Astratypon. Okay, it's a magical system, 1 through 10. Okay, we'll move on to that. Let's see. So, if you want to see more Tree of Life, we got more Tree of Lives here. Now, this is from the Celtic versions of the Tree of Life. As you can see, you start out, as a seed of the Tree of Life. It started out in the center, and it goes up, and it goes down in the exact same fashion. And if you ever seen a tree grow, the roots in a tree go out about as far as the limbs do. And so this is kind of neat. I like the tree. That is a really pretty picture. See here, all mud angels are not arranged in descending hierarchy, but rather attributed to the 4 element signs of the zodiac, which represent the true quarters or watchtowers of the universe. The original Almadal attributes 5 angels to each attitude. The number 5 in this case is either erroneous, arbitrary, or based on Agrippa's numerology, and the names of the angels are hopelessly garbled. One literally has to dismantle and reconstruct the system to make it work the way I believe it was originally intended to function. Each of these great heads that direct 3 sets of 6, the Shamahamporish angels, the 72 direct counterparts of the Jyota spirits, who are appropriately enough governed by the 4 kings, attributed to the same 4 quarters. The final proof of the system, validity of the excellence. Al-Damala was not originally conceived this way, and certainly should have been. So we got the 72 angels going on there. Let's see, where are we going to go from here? The point of perception of the Golden Dawn student will realize that our main reason for keeping this system is in the topical form rather than rectifying the sidereal mode. It is frankly religious seasonal equinox factor mentioned above. They're talking about the equinox, autumn equinox point on the wheel. Well, it says here, chaos is inevitable, but the mind and the universe will always revert to structure, seeking out the simplest, most efficient and elegant operative procedure for perception and cognition, even if such constructs are arbitrarily perceived and imposed. A bumblebee cannot fly, and an internal combustion engine should not work as well as it does, but both function excellently because the great universe and the human mind desire that they do so. You are at the center of your magical universe. Envision the master mandala as the compass card floating in the binnacle of your skull, the brass vessel. Remember, the spirits of the lunar sphere, the Yesod, surround your personal horizon. You are the navigator of your inner planes. Well said. Let's see here. Here's to present another example would be nice. We had a real Western Psychic Center. It says, straighten out the lightning flash, the flaming sword on the tree of life. And then you have one. It says, so there you go. Let's see. So we are right into this. This has just got a bunch of other stuff in here. Whether or not King Solomon ever studied the art of ceremonial magic is not a crucial question. Of greater importance are the psychological principles behind the legend of the monarch Magnus, who bound the 72 rebellious spirits in the vessel of brass. The multi-level implications of this Arabian folktale and its biblical origins, which was a major operative cosmology behind behind the medieval ceremonial magic before the risen or descent of the perverted Ophusian school, should be fascinating to even psychologists. Yeah. And here we go. Some more pictures of the Tree of Life. I love these pictures. You can see the spears on this one. Okay. If I can find anything else in here that's important. Anyway, I hope that this was helpful to you. as much as it was for me. Now, if you didn't know where I'm reading this out of, this book here. I'm going to stop sharing here. There we go. Reading it out of this book. And this is the book of Solomon's Magic. So I hope that you enjoyed this show tonight. I know it's a little bit short, but we're trying to keep it under a half hour, right in there. So with that, thank you everybody for joining me. We'll get more on this later. I'll find some more stuff, cool pictures. I don't think I got any more pictures of that tree. Oh, maybe I did. Oh, I wanted to show you this one here. This was kind of cool. The tree of life seems to pop up everywhere, you know? And it seems to be in everything. So like even in the myths of Asgard, you know, here's the tree of life here, Asgard, garden of the sky gods. Then it moves down, Midgard, Middle Earth, and then it goes down from there, different realms. And at the bottom is hell. Underground, underworld of the death goddess. Eye of the Helm. So anyway, we'll have to get somebody on here who knows more about the Norwegian study of Middle Earth and the Tree of Life. But like I said, there's Thor with his hammer. And the two crows. You know, so thought that was kind of interesting. But I wanted to show you that the tree of life is like in everybody seems to have their own tree of life. You know, one way or another. But anyway, it's wherever you go, there's a tree of life. So it has to mean something. Trees are important. Trees give us a place to live. Trees are our houses, things like that. So with that said, remember, you know, go out and make it a tree of life for yourself. Don't abandon your roots and don't forget your branches. So with that, go out and be the frequency you want to receive, everyone. Love y'all. Peace, everybody.